And there we are. Hello, hello, everyone. How is everyone doing on this fine Sunday? I see we've got some folks joining us. So, for those who don't know, my name is Eve Daniels, aka the Nerdy Nanny, and I'm a published children's author currently trying to figure out the whole grad school thing here in Sweden, which has been fun in the middle of a pandemic. And I'm joined today by the lovely ladies, Liselle Sambury and Jessica Williamson. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves?
Sure. Hi, I'm Liselle Sambury. I'm a young adult author. My book, Blood Like Magic, comes out next summer, and I also have an AuthorTube channel.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I don't have anything cool going on in my world because I'm not cool like Liselle. But I do have an AuthorTube channel that I also talk about books on more than writing books. So there's that.
I actually, your channel ends up like straddling that line between AuthorTube and BookTube, which I can appreciate because I'm always looking for recommendations. And
I'm much more reading than writing. I don't spend a lot of time writing, but I spend a lot of time reading.
I gotta do
what
you're doing most of. I don't do a lot of book videos because I don't read fast enough.
I don't know how people who have BookTube channels honestly have that much time to read. Like when you think about it, it for some of them it must be their full-time job because they're going through 4 or 5 books a week, unless of course they're regurgitating books, which is always a possibility.
I feel like they read fast.
One of my friends does probably anywhere from like 20 to 40 books a month.
Wow.
And she has 2 small children and a job.
How?
I have no idea.
I can't.
It's like almost a book a day.
Yeah, and she does like the best, most like thoughtful reviews that are like can pinpoint you to anything, and just she does great book recommendations. I love following her and chatting with her about books that we've both read. She retains so much of it. I'm so jealous.
Wow. That's my
And
thing.
she has a channel?
Yes, it's Beautifully Bookish Bethany.
I was wondering if it was Bethany.
Yeah, Bethany reads like crazy, and she is very smart and very well put together and has very thoughtful reviews.
Yeah, and does so much other stuff too, which is like wild. I retain nothing. I retain very little when I read. I read a book and I love it. I'm like, yeah, this is like my favorite book of the year. And then people are like, so like what happens in it? And I've forgotten like half of it. I just know I really liked it.
Yeah.
There are some people.
Yeah, I'll resonate with books on an emotional level, like be like, well, this was awesome because it was fast paced and whatever. And then it's like, so can you describe the book? And I'm like,
made out of paper.
Yeah. It's about yay big, cover's blue. That's pretty much it. But so welcome to our productive self-care live stream. This is one of those things that I've been trying to do, especially now as we get towards the end of what has been a rather interesting year for a lot of us. And especially with Preptober starting, self-care is one of those things that get pushed aside so easily. And it's just so insane how we can fail to take care of ourselves on such a basic human level. So I'm a big supporter of self-care, and not necessarily your Insta-friendly versions either, but more the actual drink water, do your laundry, go to the grocery store type of self-care, which people tend to neglect. So we're trying to reclaim 2020 here on the right foot, as well as getting ready for Nano and all of that. So before we hop over and say hi to everyone, I actually thought it would be a good idea if we take a couple of minutes to just breathe. If that sounds good to you, ladies.
Absolutely.
All right. So this is something I put together a while back, and I do use this actually on a almost daily basis. I did not create it, I just hijacked it. But you know what? It works. So 2 minutes goes by pretty fast, doesn't it?
How?
There we go. That's just a little something I really like to start with, just because it really does take no time at all, and I feel like it can really help, especially with how fast the world goes. I know a big part of self-care for me is sort of dealing with making your head slow down and focus when there's about a million different things going in a million different directions.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see who's here. So we have Kat. Leo Writing is here. Kat joined us last week, actually, for my study stream. There's quite a few of us in the sort of author tube-ish community who are also going to school. So balancing writing with homework is always fun. Woke up late working on your planner. Ooh, is it a regular planner or is it one of those bullet journals or somewhere in between? Let me know, because I'm always down for more Bujo content. I just don't have the patience to do it myself. But you guys, do you guys use the Bujo or Google Calendar? What are you using?
Jessica, you do.
I am obsessed with the Happy Planner. I have like 6 planners in operation at all times. I have a problem, but I'm okay with it.
Mild planner addiction.
It's my like relax time because I have anxiety and depression, so it's like my time to zone out and just like put pretty stickers on things. Sometimes I'll decorate it and I won't even use the planner for that week, but like the downtime of just like putting pretty stickers on stuff makes me feel better. So
that's what I like. I bought a journal because I wanted to keep buying stickers. Yeah. And I was like, well, I've got to put these somewhere. So I just have a very casual journal where like whenever I feel like writing, yeah. That's why I'll use it, just to like write whatever I feel like for the day and like put some stickers in. I'll probably do that during one of these streams.
Yeah, I like doing like, I'll do to-do lists with like just, I'll highlight because I have highlighters, and then I'll give myself a little gold star when I've checked one off, just because but that is what I've heard, is that half of the thing with bullet journals and planners and all the rest of it is this sort of like almost meditative process of drawing and just being able to zone out for a little bit. I can't draw. So I always feel like I'm succumbing to the peer pressure of like, my planner's not pretty enough. So I think I just need to get over that and just start doodling dragons in the margins like I used to do in middle school.
Yeah, just do whatever.
Fly by all stickers. They have like, there's like, I don't know, 20 pages of stick. I have like 50 of these. There's like 20 pages of stickers in them. I have a lot of stickers, y'all.
I have like, since we're all pulling out our stickers.
I don't have that many, but I've got stars, smiley faces, and then I have my adulting stickers.
Yeah.
Very cute. Mine are just all aesthetic stickers from like artists that I just buy because I think they're pretty.
I have those too. I have like a whole like stack of just like stuff I've bought off of Etsy. I have a sticker problem. But
I do love that though, when you find an artist that you like and it's like, well, I don't really want to buy a print because I don't have that much wall, but I'll buy a pack of stickers without even thinking about it. Like, yes, I like your art. I want it in my notebooks.
for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, Alice Cho is here. Oh, Jessica's pulling double duty. Oh, Cheryl. I think we've mentioned this in other streams. Everyone gets so jealous when they see this photo.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the your friend that Bethany that does the book reviews. Yeah, she must have a crazy reading speed. MB Webster is here. The Naked Fireflies dropping some love. Hello. We're actually in the same time zone, or I'm in the same time zone as the Naked Firefly, which I think is very cool because the world is round, and I keep forgetting about that fact. Time zones are hard. They are, because it's morning where you are, right?
Yes.
It's like 11, or is it 10?
It's
11.
Yeah, it's 5 o'clock in the evening over here, and the sun's already going down.
Yeah.
There's also a very creepy level of fog rolling in off the canal that sort of makes me think I'm in a Stephen King movie, specifically The Langoliers, but I'm trying not to think about that. Oh, Beatrix Bunhops. I don't know if that's a real last name or not, or if I'm butchering it, but that sounds like the most fun last name ever. Like, I would just have bunny stickers everywhere. Oh, Orla Hart's here. Orla Hart just had a stream an hour ago with the Nerdy Book Nerd, who is a fellow Swede. And oh, Monroe is here. Lizelle's pulling double duty too. Just a side note, the Naked Firefly has the best video just up about an amazing woman you probably don't know. Stephanie St. Clair. I don't know Stephanie St. Clair. Should I know Stephanie St. Clair? Now I'm intrigued. Going to have to go check that out. Oh, Cachet is here. Hi, Cachet. Cachet and I are actually doing a collaborated series, just in case for those of us here that are authors, which I think is everyone. If you're not writing or in the sort of writey world, then let me know. But I think everyone here is sort of in the author tube realm. But Cachet and I do a collaborated series on the business of books because we're both business majors, and that whole marketing thing and business licensing and all of that. And one of the things that got me thinking about it originally, Liselle, was actually your video on author taxes.
Yeah.
From like a year ago. Was that over a year ago now?
I feel like I did it in March, which like feels like a year ago. So I think that's probably why.
Yeah, it's been a long year. It's been a long year.
This year though, because I waited and gotten money back.
No, 2020 has been like 3 decades rolled into one. But so yes, we're doing a collaborated series called The Business of Books, and we're doing little videos on Fridays, and then we do a workshop on Sunday so that whatever we talk about on Friday, we can actually answer questions about. Because a lot of times you see these videos and it's like, well, that's really cool, but now you have questions. And of course, everyone's situation is so different, you know? Like I do kids' books, so it's a completely different process than like the marketing stuff that you're eventually going to have to do for your book, Liselle. Yeah. Blood Like Magic, coming out 2021. But yeah, it's not as intimidating as people think. You just have to break it down is all.
Yeah.
Oh, Sophia's here. I have been using a Bujo, but I recently got a Clover Fox planner to give the 13-week planner a try. That's the other one that people have been talking about. I've been hearing Happy Planner, Passion Planner, and this Fox one.
Yeah, the Clover Fox is pretty popular. I think they sponsored a lot of videos with a lot of author tubers. And when I say a lot, it was probably like 5 or 6 people, but a lot. I mean, there's not that many of us, so that's a lot of us. It's a good percentage. But yeah.
Well, if you hit 5 or 6 and you hit the right 5 or 6, then everybody's seen them.
Right. And I think that's what they did. So there were quite a few people last year that did like Clever Fox Planner and like had one and then had one as a prize giveaway as well. So I think a lot of people have started using that for author planning.
Yeah, I like store-bought planners, but my thing is, especially this year, like, I don't know, did you guys buy a planner in January that had dates on it, and then you get to June and you're like, well, I could have just burned the first half of this. Plans meant nothing.
I just never use paper planners, so I just move everything around on Google Calendar. I've started using Notion now, which is like an online planner-ish type thing, and so I've been doing that. But yeah, and then I just move stuff around frantically.
I think
Yeah,
that's why I love Happy Planner so much, because I can just like take stuff out of it and move it around. And like, I can't do a bound planner anymore. Like, I can't, it doesn't work for me. I can't do it. I like to do like Bujo style spreads, especially for like readathons and write-a-thons and stuff. And I can just like put them in the planner where I'm at without having to like, you just put it in there. You don't have to like have it somewhere else. And Bujos don't work for me because I have to flip back and forth too much. And wow.
Yeah, it's like, where do you put this? Where do you put that? And unless you're using a specific daily, weekly, monthly sort of routine, any kind of structured planner becomes frustrating. But I do like having paper over like Google or Notion. Like, I love Google and Notion for reminders. So when there's stuff I can't miss, I'll take it from the paper one and I'll put it in there. But that's more for my own peace of mind than for being organized.
Yeah, it's a specific type of style. I only do stuff like that because I hate paper, because I just lose it and it gets messy and I don't like it that much.
And then it's like, I don't know where it is. Well, I have a dual monitor set up, but the other monitor has been dead for the last like 5 years. So currently there's a calendar taped to it. Also, my grandma painted that.
Oh.
In Sweden in the 60s.
Huh.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. So I was like, dibs. I hung it in the office. It was a weird process setting up this office. So, all right. MB Webster, I love the daily pages in Marissa Movies. Oh, yeah, she does have a planner, Right Words Get Paid planner.
Mm-hmm.
She does the time blocking. I like time blocking for big sections. She does hourly, and I know that works for a lot of people to like stay focused. I do that thing, you know, where you're like, this is going to take 20 minutes, and then it takes an hour. And then you're frustrated because you're falling further and further behind an imaginary timeline.
Yeah.
But I've used her pages before, and I've like blocked out a section. Like from 9 to noon is, I don't know, website stuff.
I can't do time blocking or hourly planners because I only have like 2 hours a day that's my time. The rest of it, I'm at work or doing stuff around the farm. So, like, every day is time blocked to me. I've got like 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. to do whatever I want.
There we go. So see, time blocking does work for you.
I don't need it on a planner.
No, you don't need it. It's easy enough to keep track of the 2 hours when they're the only 2 that you have.
Like 90% of it's just like blocked off and says work.
Yeah, it's like other stuff. Author time.
Right.
Or, you know, just Jessica time.
It's fine.
I just can't do time blocking. I can't. That's too rigid for me. I just need to be like, these are the things I need to get done for the day, and I'll do them whenever. And as long as I get them, I'm happy. Yeah.
See, I like having the scheduled stop point, because I will be that if I feel like it's never going to end, I lose motivation instantly. If I know that I'm only doing this for like the next hour, then I'm like, okay, well, I have to make the most of it for the next hour, and then I'm going to go do something else. Otherwise, I will stare at that computer for 4 hours and get nothing done, because I'm like, I have all the time in the world. But if you give me a deadline, I'll get it done 5 minutes before the deadline. Doesn't matter when the deadline is.
Interesting.
Yeah, I think it's a procrastination thing from high school. Like, I'm doing my homework 5 minutes before it's due. Does not matter if that's tomorrow or next week.
Oh, God.
Aww. Oh, yeah, and that's about the video that's up on the Naked Fireflies channel. Cheryl shares your planner obsession. It's therapeutic and helps keep me organized and on track, usually. Oh, just a notebook obsession. Something about fresh office supplies. Like, I feel like word nerds, like, you take us into an Office Depot and we're just like,
Yeah.
Stickers, notebooks, planners. Everyone's got their thing, you know?
Post-it notes.
Post-it notes. I can't get index cards in this country.
What?
Oh,
They don't exist.
weird.
And I knew this because last year I was studying Swedish and I could not find them to save my life. I could not find them. So I actually smuggled stacks of index cards in my suitcase. I reserved space for index cards because they don't sell them in Sweden.
Huh. Interesting.
Really weird.
It's so weird. They have post-it notes, thankfully, but not index cards. And I'm like, I don't know how to memorize stuff without index cards. I need my index cards.
Huh.
But the world is weird. You don't have to have a pretty planner. It is meant for you. That's true. But I need to get over that. I feel like there's, you know, when you go, if you spend too much time on like the Pinterest or Instagram and the planners section, and it's like, oh, mine doesn't look like theirs.
Mine never
Um,
Evelyn of the Internet does Bujo stuff every so often. First of all, her videos are hilarious. Second of all, she shows you how to make your own stickers, which is very cool. And third of all, her spread is pretty much like, I wrote the title and then I colored it in highlighter. Also, here's a doodle of a cactus in the corner because I felt like it.
Yeah.
But it's like the most chill sort of, I put this here. He looked funny, so I scribbled him out and wrote over him.
Yeah.
It's the most chill Bujo videos I've ever seen. I can't draw either, but I'm learning and doing. Oh, Inktober!
Mm.
I also another sticker addict. I love Inktober. I think the artwork that you see if you follow the Inktober hashtag on Instagram is you can find some beautiful stuff.
Yeah, there's cool stuff. And lots of other people are doing like different versions too, like so that you don't have to like necessarily paint with ink, like people doing stuff with gouache and whatever medium you want.
Yeah, like colored pencils, whatever. I've seen people that are doing knitting things. It just seems like October, November, this kind of end of the year period gets people sort of, I don't know if it's creatively inclined or energetic, but you find there's a lot of these sorts of things on social media that are like trying to get people reinvigorated or are successfully getting people reinvigorated either with things that they wanted to do back at the beginning of the year or just with life in general. And I don't know if that's because it's fall or because we're close to the equinox or what, but like October hits and people are like, the creative muses have struck. MB Webster, it's 17 here too. Oh, MB Webster, where are you? They're in my time zone. Cheryl's in Seattle. Oh, 8 a.m. See, I'm up at 8 a.m. on Sundays, but I'm not camera ready. I'm more like, I want to read my webtoons.
Yeah.
And have my coffee. Love the Sunday workshop idea. Hopefully in the afternoon. Yes, it's in the afternoon. It is Clever Fox. I can't spell. Quarterly goal things. I do like quarterly goals. They don't necessarily work for me as far as like the strict quarters, but I like setting 3-month goals because I feel like 3 months is a nice manageable chunk of time. I know, Jessica, you do videos about this, about your Q3, Q4 kind of plans.
It's definitely better for people like me who are always behind and never meet goals because you don't have to wait until the end of the year to start fresh. Like 3 months is over, you missed half your goals. It's fine. Make some new ones. Let's move on.
Yeah.
I know people that do monthly goals as well. And I do kind of like try to break mine down monthly. And And a lot of the stuff that I have planned for this month, I didn't really make any plans for December because I'm doing so much in October and November. I know it's going to carry over into December. It's not getting done by the end of November. So just give myself a whole month of free space to finish all the stuff I'm doing. That's the hardest part, is learning how long it actually takes you to do things. Like you said, doing something that takes you 20 minutes and it ends up, you think it'll take 20 minutes, but it ends up taking an hour. And like, I think something will take, 5 or 6 days, regardless of whatever working days I have. But say I think it's going to take 5 or 6 working days, but it takes 20 working days. And so you get so far behind that if you're waiting until a new year to start fresh, it's worthless.
Yeah, I feel that's it is so frustrating when you block these off by dates or by times, and then you start slowly sliding further and further back. It's like it honestly makes me a little panicky, and I do not have anxiety, but I think there's different levels of anxiety in society, and I feel like you can struggle with anxiety for a specific reason, or you can have anxiety like clinically, and then I think there's just the regular sort of, oh crap, I didn't pay my parking ticket anxiety that just comes with humaning.
Yes.
Yeah.
But learning how to manage that is like so key, especially with authors, because we're all like, oh yeah, I can write 10,000 words in a day. And it's like, not if you plan on sleeping.
Okay.
Or, drinking water or going to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I can't write 10,000 in a month. I mean, it doesn't work for me. I don't have the time.
Yeah. Do the goals that work for you. That sense for you.
And I think figuring that out though is such a process, especially in the day and age of the internet, trying to figure out goals that work for you and systems that work for you, especially when you see, time blocking and bujuing, and it sometimes it can feel like you're supposed to be doing all these things, and it's like, no, this is just 4 million different ways that 4 million different humans figured out that worked for them,
Yeah, I'm gonna try it out. I tried to do the monthly goals once, and I was like, nope, I just like this. I don't actually do anything, and so I just do I have project goals, and that's it. I just leave it there. I'm like, for X project, I'm doing X thing, and it's going to take me this amount of time, and then I just block that out on Google Calendar. But anything else, I'm like, I can't. I just need to be super flexible with it. I can't say I'm going to read 5 books per month, because I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I love doing the Kanban board, because I can physically see what I'm accomplishing. It definitely helps having everything visible to be like, okay, I've done this and this and this week. Cool, I'm doing all right. Or, okay, you're falling behind. You need to put a little more effort into it.
Yeah, I started adopting versions of the Kanban board. That's a piece of masonite I found in the basement. So it's not exactly a cork board, but I found this really cute duct tape. So this is what's sticking stuff up on there, because the push pins won't go through it because it's masonite. But that's been working for me, and I've just got index cards up there of bits of different projects, and I can sort of go through, because there's so many different things, when you're writing and when you're working, when you're studying, when you're doing videos, when you're humaning. It's a lot of stuff to keep track of, and it's not all in the same category.
There's the website Trello is also really good for people that like to do bullet journaling. No, Kanban board, paper. That's a good way to keep track as well. So
I've seen that, Liselle. I don't know if you've tried that or not, but your hatred of paper.
I use Trello in business. So when I worked at my last job, I made them implement Trello for content calendars, because they did not have any organization. It was very all over the place, and they were just like putting out content the day of. And I was like, I find that very stressful. So here's what we'll do. We'll plan it like a week to 2 weeks ahead of time, and we'll put everything on Trello, and you approve things and tag things and put the links in there. And I've implemented that at like both the social media jobs I had, because it's just like the easiest way to team take care of a calendar. I don't really use it personally. I just use Google Calendar because I don't like to have too many details. I just like put my project that I'm working on and what
it's like that thing, and you're like, yeah, I know exactly what I meant.
Yeah,
because it's in your own head, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I use Google Calendar for work, like for my day job. As I work in the plumbing industry, so we keep track of like where the guys are going, who they're contacting, directions, what they're going to be doing. So all of that is in my Google Calendar. So I don't like to use Google Calendar for non-work things, because then I feel like I'm doing work things. Like I like to.
One of those association things.
Yeah, but Google Calendar is great as well. I really like it. It works great for us for work purposes. So I can see that it would work great for other things as well.
Yeah, I like it for a visual representation and reminders. I put too many details in things to be able to use it for everything. You know, I'm like the sub list person.
Yeah.
Like, well, I've got to redo the website, but then I have to write down all the specific things I wanted to redo in the website, because otherwise I'll forget. And I'll be like, what was I supposed to do? Oh yeah, it doesn't work. I should make it work.
Yeah.
Like, fix all the links, reestablish the homepage, all that stuff. I spent all week.
I'll put in like a notes app or Scrivener or Notion or whatever. I'll put all the bullet points, but then Google Calendar I'll leave. And funnily enough, I combined my personal and my work Google Calendar when I was working, because then it made it easier for me to organize stuff around work. Because separate, then I would do things and I'd be like, I'm gonna like write on this day, and then I'd realize I had like a work thing at nighttime and all that stuff. But I used to put it off, so I'd put everything in separate calendars and I'd like click it off if I didn't want to.
Yeah, you're on the internet.
Kanelbullen står bra.
Wait, vad var det vi här? Kanelbulle.
Kanelbullen står bra.
Oh, cool. It's Cinnamon Bun Day in Sweden.
Oh, I heard about that.
I don't know. That was my dad, by the way. And now I have cinnamon buns.
Well, that's really nice.
Can't complain, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
I wish someone delivered me cinnamon buns.
Dad, we need to go bring Liselle some cinnamon buns.
The work didn't open, so.
That would be, so Alice Cho, I started bullet journaling 3 years ago, would not go without, store-bought planner, cannot keep up with, keeping track of things, I feel like is hard. If you find a system that works for you, you just stick with it. You can fiddle with different methods, but like finding what works for you is best. I've learned I don't do well with digital planners. I do those when I want to share with others. That's what you were talking about, Liselle. Everyone uses Notion to organize writing, because I love that you can put pages in pages. I use OneNote for that, purely because it was already on my computer.
I am a visual. I don't like the way OneNote works, so I don't use it, even though I technically pay for it. I don't like the way it looks.
Yeah, I like the fact that I can, like, I started using it for notes, and I like the fact that I can put like other boxes. So it's like when I used to put Post-it notes in my notebook, it's like, I can just stick this graph here without it. Like in a Google Doc, stuff just gets all screwy if you do that.
I use OneNote for my story Bible. So I have a lot of OneNote experience. One of these days, sometime this month, I don't know when, it's on my editorial calendar, I could look it up. But one day this month, there's going to be a video on story Bibles, like all the different forms of media that I've used to try to like do a story Bible and what's worked and what hasn't worked for me. So I have a lot of experience with a lot of different platforms, basically, is where I'm going with that.
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Well, that's cool, because it would be nice to have like a comprehensive review of like, here's all the different systems. This one works for visual learners. This one works for people who hate paper. This one works for people who love stickers.
Like, this is everything I've used. May work for you, may not. This is what worked, what didn't work. This is why I liked it, why I didn't like it. blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I feel like that's what beauty gurus do. You know, they're like, this foundation didn't work for me, but I have this type of skin. I watch way too many beauty guru videos considering I don't wear makeup, but it's fine.
Hard
Yeah, well, I like watching videos where people are excited about things. And there's nothing better than like turning on to a Rach Loves video and she's like, oh my God, I got some new lip gloss and it's so sparkly and I can't wait. And I'm just like, I want to absorb your happiness through the screen.
I don't watch her beauty videos, but I watch her life videos. So like I watch a lot of.
Yeah, she had one yesterday that was trying celebrity
Snoop Dogg
recipes.
bacon.
Snoop Dogg's bacon. Oh, she did Chrissy's waffle recipe.
Yeah.
I feel so bad for Chrissy.
It's a bad day for that video to go up.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone's following along with what
I don't know
happened.
anything.
Chrissy Teigen, John Legend's wife, she miscarried fairly late in the pregnancy.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Rachel also miscarried about 2 years ago now.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. She went dark for a while. Like, not like her videos get dark, like she just wasn't online, obviously, because they were grieving. But I think it's sort of one of those, it's already going up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Not going to change it now. I use the to-do section, then the time blocking part just to keep track of what I spend time on. I like to do time audits where I'll have a list of tasks and I'll be like, I'm going to go through this list of tasks and then I'll see how long it actually takes. Because it's very easy to say that an Instagram post takes 5 minutes. It's a lot harder to admit that you spent 30 minutes thinking of what to post first. Yeah. So if you just sit down and be like, I need to do 10 Instagram posts for the week, planned out, and then just see how long that took. That makes it much easier. Don't do well with digital planners either. If it's not where I can see it every day, I get lazy and don't look. That's my problem with digital planners. I just won't look at them. That's why I need this one taped to my thing. I have a quiz on Wednesday. I should remember that.
I'm interested that you carried a monitor that hasn't worked for 5 years to Sweden with you.
Oh, no, it's not mine. It's my dad's.
Okay. I was really worried.
Yes, I'm deeply emotionally attached to this monitor. We have a special connection. Oh no. So my dad lives here in Motala, which is the middle of nowhere. Oh, that fog's getting closer. It's fine. It's in the middle of nowhere, Sweden. But it's a half an hour to 45 minutes from the town, which is an actual town. It still smells like hay. That's how much of a city Linköping is. It still smells like hay. But it's fine. So he has a house here, and he's been here for 10 years. I think he got it from someone when he moved in because they were like, you need to have a computer.
I was worried you had carried a dead monitor with you across the world.
2 suitcases. I was smuggling in index cards like they were a luxury item, okay? There is nothing that I brought with me that I didn't need. And yes, I'm including my official Starfleet uniform as a necessary item. Because obviously
it was going to be Halloween time while you were away, obviously.
Yeah, they don't do that here though.
What?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't picture a lot of European countries doing it.
It's starting to grow in popularity because of the whole entertainment industry, but it is not normal practice, and it's definitely not happening this year, even though Sweden doesn't really have any restrictions. I'm going to be talking about that later this week. I've been trying to figure out whether or not to do a video on what's actually going on here because I keep seeing news articles about what's happening in Sweden as far as the you-know-what. And I'm like, that's not true. That's not true. That's kind of true, but very misleading. And I'm just like, okay, I don't know how to approach it without people being like, oh, well, they're not wearing masks in Sweden, therefore me living in New York City, I don't have to do anything. It's like, no. They're very different situations. But given the news of the last couple of days, it feels almost irresponsible to not ignore it because people keep citing us as like the example of what to do right. And I'm like, there's a bunch of dead people that disagree with that. So maybe not. But I'll go into that later next week. I smuggle in steno pads because they don't exist here. they don't. No. My dad refuses to go into an office supply store with me unless he's coming in to find me because it's been an hour. Also, art supply stores. Art supply stores are dangerous, and I don't even do like art. I'm just looking at all the cool things that I then don't buy. It's like window shopping for shoes, except it's very, very expensive colored pencils. Oh, Prague, Czech Republic. Okay. So that's south by a bit. I don't know how many countries are between us. 4 p.m. where Beatrix is. Okay, so that's 1 hour off of me. So that's probably the UK, I guess. Where are you, Beatrix? Cheryl's managed to do the 10K in a day a couple times. Takes too much to bounce back. Creative exhaustion. Yeah, that's a big part of it. I do think, though, that if you were capable of pulling it off, like for some people it works. Like I have one day this week where I can focus on writing, and then you don't write for the next 2 weeks because you have other things going on. And that, in which case, the creative burnout might be worth it. But again, that's so dependent on individual story circumstances. Story Bible. Love watching people's hobby videos when they're excited about whatever. I know you just want all the feels. Good morning, Mama Ward. How are you today? Yeah, miscarriages I had a nightmare about one once, and now I'm terrified of that. I put a large desk calendar sheet on the fridge so I can't avoid looking at that, especially when the mignonettes are in school. I had one on my desk for a while, but I kept spilling coffee all over it. So it didn't work. Yeah, apparently you splash enough coffee on something and it's just like, nope. Oh, you just got Halloween a couple years ago in the Czech Republic. Yeah, it's not a big thing here. It really isn't. But
I guess I never thought of that because with the write-a-thon ends at like noon my time, and then at like 7 p.m. my time, we're gonna do a costume party, like a wrap party, and my co-host is Stig Dierdal, who's in Sweden. So
and
we're
what was the name?
Stig Dierdal. It's Dyrdal. I don't think he has like an Instagram, but he doesn't do YouTube. He has a YouTube channel, but he doesn't do anything on it quite yet. But he does do a lot of like co-hosting and stuff on people's streams. But he's in.
I'm collecting Swedes.
It like never occurred to me because I was just like, hey, I want to do a costume party. You want to co-host with me? He's like, sure. So that never even like crossed my mind.
Yeah, well, because they know what it is. They're like, oh yeah, Halloween, and like you'll find parties like Halloween parties, but there's no trick or treating, you know, because not everyone does it. It's just sort of like a pop culture reference, you know.
I mean, I realized that like ours was instituted by the candy industry. Like,
yeah,
I get it, but it's like because I'm 33 years of my life, it's been ingrained in my brain, so it's weird for other people not to have it.
Oh yeah, no. The weirdest part is when you accidentally forget about the 4th of July because you're in Sweden, and then people are like, "What'd you do for the 4th of July?" I don't know. What day was that? Tuesday. Oh, we watched Die Hard.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. Do people do huge stuff? We don't really do that much stuff for Canada Day.
Nobody does anything with Sweden Day, but the U.S. is like nationalism is a big part of the culture.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why you have redneck flags in the back of trucks everywhere you go.
Yeah, Confederate flags, and it's like, are you guys not understanding that you're supporting what was essentially domestic terrorists at the time?
Well, they know.
I had on my way home yesterday, I drove through town. So like literally from one end of our town to the other, and there were not one, not two, not three, but 4 tents set up in like the little strip malls that were people selling flags and things that, Confederate flags, things with things about the election on them. And I'm like, what is this town that I live in? What weird universe is this? Where am I? Like, it is
It's so 5 years ago when I would visit the US or from the US to Sweden, people would be like, American, great. Now I show up, they hear my accent, and they go, so, how do you, if it's okay if I ask, they don't like talking about it. They're like, how do you feel about, sort of and then I immediately declare certain people to be morons and,
You're just
generally
supposed
not.
You're supposed to lie and tell them you're Canadian and then move on.
Be like, I'm Canadian. I can't pull that off. I don't handle cold well. I'm from Florida.
That's
If I tried to pass myself off as Canadian, they'd be like, why are you wandering around in a winter coat? It's only like 17 degrees. And I'm like, because I'm cold.
Fair enough.
Sorry, Celsius. What's that in Fahrenheit?
I don't
70 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit is probably
Yeah.
like 30-ish, 40-ish.
No, it's got to be more than that.
Oh, yeah. Zero's 32. You're probably
Zero
right.
is 32. 22, 24 is like 80 somewhere, or the high 70s, I think.
What's 17 degrees Celsius in Fahrenheit?
17 degrees Celsius is 62.6 degrees Fahrenheit.
62.
I love that. I almost brought a Google Home over here, but we don't have particularly great Wi-Fi, so I was like, yeah, let's not do that.
I
Let's not do
live
that.
for Alexa. She answers all my questions.
They just solve the world's problems, except for when you're listening to something on YouTube and they specifically reference your little robot minion, and then your little robot minion reacts to it.
Also, when
Yeah.
you're watching any video on YouTube that involves Alexa Dunn, whether it's like people talking about her or, yeah. And it like the blue light just clicks on and then you hear a lot of, I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. Or, I'm sorry, I don't understand that reference. And I'm like,
Yeah, it's like, calm down, Alexa. We weren't talking to you. Mama Ward saying, yeah, that's why she put her calendar, she's talking about on the fridge instead of on a desk, because mugs.
Yeah.
Things are moving. Okay. I get laughed at as an American often, or people say how much they like Trump. God, yeah. That always, he's historically popular here because Ivana is, oh yeah, I keep forgetting that's where she's from.
Oh, I didn't know that.
She was from Eastern Europe. I couldn't, if someone had asked me where 10 seconds ago, I'd have been like,
Yeah.
Eastern Europe, somewhere. I grew up in a town, Southeast Texas, where KKK marched on the first weekend and Black Panthers marched on the second weekend. That's
a weird place.
Yeah. Los Libres marched on the third weekend, and the high school band had the last week. Jeez. That's a lot of insanity for 1 month. We moved to the South, and they were teaching kids in school here that the Confederate States of the United States were protecting the slaves from the... What?
Whew.
Just saying whatever.
That's like in that textbook in, I think it was like Texas or Alabama or something, said that the First Nations tribes had voluntarily relocated during the Trail of Tears.
For sure.
And people were like, excuse
That's
you?
what all textbooks do. Like our textbooks growing up were like residential schools were a nice thing. We were helping
Yeah, it's
them.
like,
They needed to like learn English and stuff, and we were assisting them with that.
yeah, indoctrinating, kidnapping, beating.
Yeah.
Everyone marched because why not? Texas in the 70s and the 80s. Yeah, I don't. There are places in Texas I would like to check out. And then there's the rest of Texas, which I don't really want to visit. So I think I would need a guide. Czechs get upset if they say they're Eastern Europe. They consider themselves Central Europeans. So I'm wondering, the lines seem to be arbitrary to me. You know, Eastern Europe, Western Europe, and then Central Europe. Like, I don't know what's where. I'm so far north that it doesn't matter. Sweden, Norway, and Finland, we're all just North Europe because we're up here in like the phallic resembling area of Europe. And then there's everything else down here. And I just do not know what it is. But yeah, so we were talking about planners. So I think, and like finding a system that works for you. And since we're going to try to make this a productive, quotes on the productive self-care stream. Thinking, what if we did like a 10-minute sprint where people sort of want to challenge people to like get out your planner and like sort of start looking through what you have to do for the week. You've already got yours ready. And start looking through what you have to do for the week. And then while you're at it, like see if there's anything that you can cross off now to get a jump start. Because I find that helps me psychologically a lot. Like if I have some stupid little thing on Monday I need to do, like email a professor, if I can knock that out on a Sunday, then I start off my week feeling better, you know? Like I've got this. Plus, I have cinnamon buns. So like there are things. All right, so why don't we do that? Does everyone think that sounds good? Just a little tenor and we'll go see what shenanigans we can accomplish in that. And then we can talk about what other self-care stuff you like to do that helps set you up for the week. All right, let's see. And we might recognize this timer.
Yay. The timers I'll never make again.
I know a lot of us went into sort of the making of timers thing, and I looked into it and I was like, that's a lot of work. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, the making of the timer itself was fine, but for me, it's like the amount of time it takes my computer to render and export the file is enormous, to the point that when I had to fix little things after, because some things it just like it wouldn't load, so I couldn't tell how it looked when I was in Premiere Pro. I had to export it to look at it, and so it would like take like 4 or 5 hours to export. And then I'd look at it and I'd be like, oh, there's a tiny mistake. And then I had to do it again. And I was like, no, I hate this. Never again.
It's just insane. The my computer will overheat if I try to render anything above a certain like quality. So my camera works fine, but a lot of my videos are in pretty low res because if I try to process them as anything higher, this thing will shut down.
Yeah. It's hard. When I bought my laptop, I had bought it thinking I was just going to do writing on it. So I was like, it doesn't really need like a ton of like power. And then I got into YouTube and now I'm like, poor computer.
Poor computer.
I bought mine right as I was like thinking about starting a channel, so I took that into consideration. But you know, it works up.
Sooner or later I'll have to update, but that day is not today. So let's see what we can get accomplished, and I'll see you ladies in 3, 2, 1. I always forget I have them running and then get surprised.
Oh gosh.
I'm doing things, and then it's like birds. Wow, but that was actually very, very productive for me. I got up, I got a cup of coffee with a little bit of Serrano to go with my cinnamon bun, which is now half gone. I don't know if you can see this. You know how American buns have icing all over them? Yeah, Swedish buns don't do that. Swedish buns, we have these little nibs, pearl sugar. And I only point this out because I had a 10-minute conversation with my illustrator about this when we were designing the cover for one of my kids' books. Because I was like, no, it's called Fika. It's a Swedish book. If we put American cinnamon buns on the cover, I will be ostracized by all of Sweden. Cannot do that. Yeah. And so I got coffee. I drafted an email. I took the trash out. And I heard back on my potential research project. So I might be curing tuberculosis, or at least gaining a better understanding of the epigenetic shift caused by the BCG vaccine. One of the two. I don't know. What about you guys?
I did nothing. I'm looking through sticker books, deciding what theme I want.
That's
for this week in my
something.
planner.
What themes do you have to choose from?
A lot.
The sticker obsession is real.
I have like 50 books, and they're like each one's a different theme. So,
Oh wow.
what, Liselle? What were you doing
Where? Oh, I moved closer.
Eve looked away, and so she didn't see it. But Liselle, your like page went like super pixelated, and there was like weird colors floating through it.
Oh, weird.
Or maybe I am crazy. I don't know.
I have no idea what that would have been.
I don't know. I'm trying to now I'm gonna backtrack and see if
See
everyone
if you
else
can find the weird pixelation.
did. Anyone else see it, or was it just me?
I was distracted by pastries.
Right, you were staring off to the side, so like you didn't see.
Pastries.
I mean, fair enough, but
Oh, interesting. The commenters will tell you.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's see. What about you, Lizelle? What did you accomplish?
I went to the bathroom, and then I opened up my Notion thing to paste a couple things in there. I'm filming a little panel after this, or in half an hour-ish. I have to leave slightly early. And so I just was like pasting my little questions in there and just like putting in a reminder. I'm bad at not remembering always to hit the record button. I usually remember before we've like gone too far in, but I was like, I need to just like write this out, and then it just says hit the record button to make sure that I actually do it, because yeah, thankfully like all the people I do my in conversation stuff with are like all like friends, so everybody's always been like understanding.
Like, it's fine. It's chill. We know.
But you know, when it's people that I'm not like friends with, I'm like, I don't want to do that to you, so I put a reminder.
Like I want to interview one of my professors on the science of motivation, because she's a neurobiologist, and that's her specialty is motivation, affect disorders, and addiction. And so that's stressing me out slightly, because I'm like, when I screw up and don't hit the record button, or when the sound doesn't match the video, and then you have to be like, can we do this all over again? Like, it's a little different when it's like, this is my professor.
Yeah.
My grades might be impacted by this.
At the very least, with Zoom, you can set it so that it starts recording as soon as you get in the room. And that's what I was doing before. But then because they were my friends, we would like chit chat for half an hour before we would do anything. And then I would have this huge file at the end. So that's why I stopped doing that. But yeah, double-edged sword.
Now you got to actually remember to hit record.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I'm a big believer in sort of the, with the Maslow's hierarchy of needs as far as the self-care thing. So, you know what, going to the bathroom actually counts.
It's important, and it needed to happen.
It does, but you would be surprised how often I find fully functional adults be like, oh, I really have to pee. And it's like, then go pee. It's like, oh, no, I can hold it. I'm like, you've said that for the last 3 hours. Please just go.
Just do it. Oh, God.
Like physical well-being first and then everything else after.
That's my aunt who I work for, and like our bathroom literally is like 5 feet from her desk, from both of our desks.
Oh my God.
It's like you're gonna give yourself a UTI, lady. Like,
Yeah.
please,
Just like take the 5 steps, go to the bathroom.
just go. Yeah, but it's like, yeah, like I'm really big into Maslow's hierarchy as far as like I think there's 5 core categories for self-care.
Mm.
Physical obviously is number 1. Then you've got environmental, so it's like it's hard to feel good about anything else if your desk is a mess or if your roof is leaking or whatever else. And then like mental and emotional, and then your relationships, and then spirituals up at the top with like everything else is fine. Now I can focus on, I don't know, being Zen or something. I don't know. I've never got there.
I feel real called out right now.
Well, it's like we all just sort of are fluctuating in this miasma of trying to like take care of ourselves as functional human beings, and it's not that easy. It's not. But so let's see what other folks were up to. August. Oh yeah, August was talking about this was when we were talking about Texas. Georgia's the same as them. Atlanta's cool, and everything else is like a little special. Yeah. Kat's making a timer. Oh, Kat has to type every second, hoping to finish by November.
You know,
That's
there's like a setting in Premiere where you can do like a countdown timer, and then you reverse the speed so that it'll do the seconds and minutes and stuff.
Oh, Adobe Premiere?
Yeah, I think it depends on what people are using. I don't know. I only made a timer because I knew I had Premiere and can do that function, but I don't know if people are like making timers in like iMovie and stuff and therefore have to.
I've only made
do it by hand.
I've made a couple. I'll probably never do it again. But I do have a playlist on my channel. I think it shows up on my channel, maybe, of other people's countdown timers.
Yeah, well, I found yours. I found you had a 20-minute timer.
I do have a 20-minute timer, but
yeah, I'm editing with Video Editor, which came for free on my computer, and I did not question it. I bought an HP Stream for the faster processing, but it has serious overheating issues. Yeah. Mine does the same thing. I have it propped up on 2 different stacks of books that the bottom of it is like venting into the air, because otherwise it does not like me running StreamYard with other YouTube videos up, which I have to do if I want to use timers. So it's whirring alarmingly. It'll be fine. I can't afford to buy another laptop right now, so it better be fine. Oh, author JC Carpenter is here. JC was republishing a novel. I know. I don't know where you are in that process, but I was watching the videos, and that was really interesting to me because I did the same thing a while back. And you think it's simple, it's not. Everyone's saying hi. Oh, Mama Ward, yes, my nerdiness. Did BCG really make? BCG has causes widespread methylation changes. If you're interested, I'm a nerd. We've established this. So this is what I've been doing. But it's cool because you have a vaccine and it goes in and it actually trains your white blood cells and causes epigenetic shifts. So your gene doesn't change, but how the gene is expressed changes, which is cool. So we'll just cure all diseases, or I don't want to go in that room though, because that's where they keep the other samples. And I don't want to be in that room. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You're more likely to get it from the grocery store than you are from that room, which I'm aware of, but I'm still like,
fair enough.
I'll be on this side. Keep the samples over there. I'll be over here. It's fine. At least until I've, gone through the training of like, don't touch your face. Convinced my 2-year-old we needed to change his diaper. Also realized, setting up your week on Sundays, I feel like it makes such a huge difference for me. That's part of why I do the self-care streams on Sundays. It's just because Like when you can start off the week and you feel like you've got a handle on things, it makes a difference to me. You know? It's not going to change the fact that the week might suck. Like it's supposed to be gray and rainy for the rest of the week, and the fog has now reached my window. It's not going to change that. But I had an email sent. I've got my office slightly tidier than it was, and I don't know. I just feel better about the week when I have that time to sort of prep. LR Archer. Oh, I posted my ink drawing to Insta. Loved on my cat. That's always important. Loving on fur babies is always an important thing. Now I need to clean the art stuff off my desk so I can use it for non-art things. The cleanup process for art was always one of those things that, as a child, I hated, which I think is why I don't do art as an adult, because I'm like, oh, then I have to put everything away. Why can't my crayons just live on the floor? It's fine.
So I ended up the extra long desk because I have my computer on one half and then I have the art stuff on the other half. So then it's fine to like leave my sketchbook and paints sitting on the other side for a bit until I like gather the energy to clean it, because I'm like, it's okay because I don't use that half of the desk is only used for art.
Yeah, I love the video where you're sort of going through your new office space. It looks really cool.
I'm happy with
Also,
it.
what's the body count on your plants thus far?
My best friend, we FaceTime, and she was like, how many plants do you have? She was like, count them right now. And it was like 25.
And they're all still alive.
Well, the ivy.
Other than ivy.
I had some ivy and the ivy died. And I bought like 2 mystery plants from Home Depot. I didn't know what they were, so I wasn't sure how to take care of them. And one of them did die when I went to Toronto for a week, which was like, nah. But the rest have been alive. Yeah. My spider plant was dying, but I cut off all the brown bits and I like have started watering it and the pothos. I like put them all in my sink and I water them all there and I let them drain and then I put them back up. And so now they're like doing much better and the spider plant seems like it's no longer dying. So it's like I'm doing pretty well. It's not that bad.
It's not a complete graveyard. I kill everything that I plant. I insist that gardening for a lot of people can be a really great like relaxation time and mental health resource. And a lot of people get emotionally attached to their plants. So they'll be like, I have a friend who struggles with anxiety and depression, and she'll get up because she has to go take care of her plant. And it's like, some people do that with cats. She can't have cats. So plants it is. But it does make a huge difference. I just kill everything except the cilantro I have growing downstairs. But that's because I have a vested interest in keeping it alive, because I can't buy cilantro here. And I want salsa. So gotta grow it myself.
But I think I've learned finally. I don't know.
You're getting better at recognizing the symptoms of your plants, at least, probably.
Yeah.
Like this one's got too much water, this one doesn't have enough. MCB Webster is taking part in free entrepreneurial planathon this coming week. So I looked for the schedule for that, didn't find it. Entrepreneurial planathon. Well, that sounds interesting. That sounds really interesting. I do think this whole, like, I have 6 kids books out. So the Nerdy Nanny it's a business, it's a publishing house, and it's a lot to take care of. And I sort of, when I went to grad school, I was like, this is going to have to take the back seat. I needed to resign that to happen. But it is nice when you can get planning done and get those things set so you don't have to worry about them. You know? One less thing to think about day after day. I cleaned up my story folder for one of my series, still trying to pick between 2 projects for Nano. Aliens facing genetic dead end and extinction, or supernaturals facing bioterrorism. I vote for supernaturals facing bioterrorism. Just because I think that sounds cool. Don't worry, soon it will want the car keys. I'm assuming that's the child. Art is good. Art is always good. Oh, cat does not have Adobe with the timer. Stalled is where I am. with the relaunch. All right, JC, you need to email me. I will uninstall you. Tell me where you're stuck, baby. I formatted it, but when I tried to upload it and do the preview to see what it looks like, it's not coming out right. Yep. Okay. Me. Email. Two desks, one for sewing quilts, so I'd have to clean that one, and it's more of a mess than my writing desk is. See, this is why knitting is nice. Everything I have is sitting in a like bucket, which is actually an old pot, but you know, it all fits in there. All my yarn, my needles, my current project. Yeah, formatting is a major pain. Oh, Marina just joined. I don't know if I know Marina. Hi, Marina. Welcome to Chaos. So far, we've discussed planners, the general decline of the universe, and cinnamon buns. It's been interesting.
My desk currently is like a war zone, and so I feel incredibly called out. And it's like, I don't know, there's not really any way to clean it. Like, everything that's here is super important and needs to be here. Like my white cheddar popcorn seasoning. I need this. It's important to me. And this pumpkin spice flavor lip gloss stuff that I will never use. Like, it's all really important. Some ranch sauce from McDonald's that I don't even eat. I mean, it's super important. So I don't know how to clean it.
Necessary items.
Right.
Yep. Completely necessary. Well, I mean, I've got random sticker sheets and duct tape. Like, the duct tape does not need to be here. But I every time I look, I keep putting it away, and then I can't find it because it doesn't have a spot. I do think it makes a difference, though. Like I have friends who work in absolute chaos, and that's how their brain works. And my brain just can't do that. I need like a 2-foot bubble for me to flop around in. And then everything beyond that can be like stacks of stuff. But I need my flopping space.
I mean, I have a couple of like those 3-tier carts that have all of like my planner stuff in them. So I just like roll them to my desk. I mean, granted, right this very second I have a lot of planner stuff out, but that's because I'm working on my planner. But most of the time, not so much. I have like 87 boxes of tissues on my desk because I've been sick for a week.
Oh,
So that's a thing. I'm not the only one that like carries around the house with them both a full box and an empty box to throw the dirty ones in, because I do that. So my tissue supply is double, a full box and a dirty box. It's easier than finding a trash can when you have to blow your nose every 3 minutes. Just saying.
yeah. When it's every 3 minutes, I totally get that. I have garbage cans like every 10 feet in my house. But my dad has this rule about like every room should have a clock, a place to sit, and a garbage can. So every room in our house has a clock, a place to sit, and a garbage can.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we randomly have garbage cans. Yeah, basically in every room, in the bathroom and in the bedroom, and I have one under my desk and then in the kitchen.
Yeah. I have one next to me at the desk, and I have one in the bathroom and one in the kitchen, but that's it. So like, I don't have one in my bedroom, and so I just like carry both of my tissue boxes to my bedroom with me at night and live my best life.
So you need to be taking extra self-care steps because of little Miss Sicky.
I mean, I'm doing better than I was Friday, because Friday night I was doing my live read-in and had to like continuously mute myself because I was coughing.
Oh.
So, because like the talking was agitating my throat. It's like I get it every year. Ohio does really weird weather changes where it'll be like 85 for a week and then it's like 40 for a week. And so I always get like the stuffy nose that then runs for a week, that then runs into the back of your throat, which makes your throat swell, and it takes about a week for it to go away. I'm like at the end of it, which is great. But Friday I probably shouldn't have done the live, but I did anyway. So
yeah, The season change sickness.
Yeah.
It's a
See,
real
that's
thing.
why. Well, that's why when I did the grad school thing, I did a disclaimer in a video. I was like, I reserve the right to disappear at any given moment. I'm not dead. I just have tests. It's fine.
Yeah.
Because it's
Well,
like,
I'm also trying to read 31 books this month and do all of Preptober and host a 36-hour write-a-thon. No big deal. And so I needed to read anyway. So I was like, I'll just do the read-in because I'm going to be reading regardless. So whenever I would get to where I was like, okay, I can't talk now. Let's do another timer sprint. And then we start a sprint. And
there we go. Throat's gone. Timer. Boop.
timer.
Yeah. Timers are the salvation of like, well, my throat's gone. It's like, let's
keep one nearby. So like when the dogs start acting stupid, you're just like, okay, timer, I'll be back. And then walk
Yeah.
away.
Or like if you ever get to like awkward pauses in a stream, you're like, so, timer.
Time.
Let's do stuff. LR Archer. I knit and crochet too. Gonna work on some. Oh, I've tried doing gloves. I don't have the appropriate yarn for that. I use acrylic, so as soon as you wash it, they double in size, which is okay. Good. Facebook or here on YouTube because I'm not always good at remembering to email people. I will Facebook you or stalk your YouTube comments. You know, some combination thereof. Oh, Sid's here. Stopping by, wondering what everyone is doing for self-care. Love some tips for relaxation. Yeah, Sid, you are running yourself into the ground. School, work, AuthorTube, all of the shenanigans. So I don't know what would be the one thing that you guys like if you're having a really just long day. What is the one thing that helps you relax regardless?
I don't know if you're ready for this, but you better be ready for it. I have this wonderful neck massager thing that lives under my desk.
Have that?
And I sit here and I go, ah. Yep, I have one of those.
That looks amazing.
It was like $60, but considering I go to the chiropractor every 2 to 3 weeks because I have scoliosis and I have some weird like upper back neck injury from a car crash, so I'm crooked in 2 places. So it definitely helps, like whenever I feel like I'm a lot of tension from, the hunch of a writer.
Mm-hmm.
So it was worth my $60, and I use it probably 3 or 4 times a week, especially on like a really like stressful day. And I'll just sit here and like put on like somebody that I like to listen to talk on YouTube, and then just like and zone out.
Especially when you're stuck at a desk all day. But with purchases like that, I feel like it's a matter of how often you use it. Like if you were going to use that once a week, 52 weeks in a year, $60. It's a little over $10 each time you use it. It's a little over $1 each time you use it. Sorry, math. It's $1 each time you use it. At that point, it's completely worth it. The one thing I don't think is worth it is when you're like, when you're in that mode and you're like, I'm on the internet, I'm going to buy something. I'm never in that mode because I'm too cheap. But I have friends who are. They buy a lot of things that they don't need. You're one of those.
I have 50 of these books of stickers.
Yeah. Well, I also have the added barrier of shipping because remember, Sweden. So it takes things like 3 to 4 weeks to get here. So if I want something, I get to checkout and then I go, I want it now, not next month. Never mind. What about you, Liselle? What is the one thing that sort of guaranteed helps you relax?
I'll usually just like lay down on the couch and I'll watch like a bunch of movies, usually ones that I've already watched and therefore know that I like, and I'll just revisit them and watch them, which like for me is nice too because I consider it part of like refilling the creative well, because I'll like get inspired by stuff that I'm seeing, and so I'm like, I'm relaxing. But if I was like panicked about getting stuff done, then I'm like, I'm still doing stuff, so it's fine.
Yeah, I do that. I will rewatch movies or specifically The Great British Bake Off for about the 10th time. Yeah. And it's just so chill. And all the lines and who's going to burn their cookies and all the rest of it. And you can just sort of zone out, but you don't feel like you have to be doing something necessarily because there's something going on. So it's sort of like giving yourself permission to relax, almost. I don't know. I think the thing that helps me the most here is because in the States, I used to go to kickboxing on a regular basis until the you-know-what and everything closed. But here, I don't have a gym here, and I don't really want to go about finding one while all of this is still going on. I do have a kickboxing bag in the basement, and I'll talk more about that at some point, but I'm starting to use that more. But the classes were better because someone's yelling at me to keep going longer, basically. But so what's helped here is I will get on my iPod, I'll put on my Spotify, and like behind the house, there's number one, the creepy abandoned factory that catches fire sometimes, which is totally fine. And number two, there's this long winding path that goes through like a forest. So like there's birches, there's a cow, there's some people's houses, there's pine trees. And it's just listening to my music, walking through there when there's like taking a walk in the woods, you know? And I get that not everyone can do that because of the climate they're in. Like it's freaking freezing right now. Well, no, it's not. It's cold, but I have yet to feel freezing, and I'm not looking forward to it. Not at all. Not at all. But yeah, that's what helps me anyway, Sid, is going for a nice walk especially with happy music. Happy music makes a difference. You know? Mama Ward, you would think the concept behind bioweapons is cool. Yes, I would. It causes a limbic shift in the brain and turns all non-humans into weapons of mass murder, but it's made from the sap of a rare elm tree. Ooh, okay. Is it a magic elm tree or is it just a rare elm tree? Because if so, there's two different rules that you have to apply. Are we going the science route or the fantasy route? You know, death by syrup. Marina, I had paper notes everywhere. I am now using a list software called, I've seen this one. You say it like to do, but it's spelled like 2x doix. I don't know. Tux ducks.
Toto.
Made life music. Yeah.
Shout in that I must depart.
Oh yes, you have. Liselle has to run. When is your thing going to be up, by the way?
In October sometime. I cannot remember the exact date I have put in my calendar, but in October.
Okay, well, you go make this nice thing that we can all watch so that we can see it sometime this month, okay?
Yes.
Bye.
Bye. I have one garbage can in the whole house. Oh, luckily the 2-year-old loves throwing stuff away, so I can just get him to run through things to the trash. What in a 1-bedroom apartment, that's not so bad, but yeah, that gets old. I had to argue with my babysitting mother about the pros of putting a garbage can in the bathroom because she has 2 teenage daughters.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't like the look of them. I'm like, then find one you like, because otherwise you're going to be carrying something bloody from the bathroom across the house into the kitchen. And that's just not
really weird.
Yeah. We got over it. We found a pink one that she liked or whatever. She just doesn't like staring into open trash cans, which I get, but that's why you get one with a lid.
Yeah, I have one with like a revolving lid on it. So like I can throw stuff from the other side of the room, like makeup wipes and stuff, and it just like hits the lid and drops in. It's great.
Oh, they can't do revolving lids at their house. They all have to be push pedal because they have 2 dogs.
My dogs don't get in trash cans.
Oh, then you've never had to worry about dogs eating bloody tampons, have you?
No.
Because they do that.
They get into the kitchen trash. But only if it's like full and they can see it. Like if they can see stuff hanging out of it, they'll get into it. But if it's like down in the trash can, which my dog weighs like 95 pounds, he could totally do whatever he wanted. But he's a pretty good kid.
Aww.
He snuggled
My
with
dog
me
was blind and deaf, so he had no idea what was going on most of the time, and he used to just freak out and like run smack into walls. So you would try to give him people food, and he'd be like, "What? What? Is there cheese?" And it's like, "It's right here. It's right." Oh, for God's sakes!
We have that with our oldest dog. She's 16, And so she has like some of her hearing left and some of her vision left. She still gets around pretty good. So like she's pretty happy. But
Yeah.
when you like go to hand her something, like you have to like put it like right
in front of the face. Yeah.
And sometimes she'll still like snap at you and like get half of your hand in her mouth instead of just what you're feeding her. But she's a good girl. She's pretty old and decrepit, but she's doing all right. So
yeah, Max was probably 20 or something, I want to say. I don't know because I rescued him. So we have no idea. But they told me he was 10. I was like, great, I'll adopt a senior dog. He'll have a few good years. And then I can figure out what to do with the rest of my life without having to plan for a dog, which makes finding housing harder. It makes things more expensive. It just complicates things. Yeah, that didn't work out so well because 10 years later, the dog was still alive. But
you love him.
I loved him very, very much. He was a good boy. But yeah, it was definitely a surprise.
I have a friend that takes in senior animals that people like surrender to the vet's office nearby where he lives. And so she takes in a lot of like senior cats and senior dogs.
I can't stand people that get rid of dogs when they get too old. It's like, I'm sorry, this was not a, toy. This was a member of your family.
Yeah. I get some people, like especially like with seniors, if they have a pet and then the senior dies and like no one in the family can.
Or even if the senior gets moved to assisted living or something like that, there are situations where it makes sense. But senior dogs are also one of the most commonly abandoned group of animals. So it's just not right.
Right.
Cat Leo, oh yeah, she also gets sick when the seasons change. I feel like a lot of people do that. Jessica, a copy of the book, The Power of the Positive No.
I think I'm saying that I need a copy of that book because, 31 books in October and Preptober and a 36-hour write-a-thon. No big deal.
Yeah. So sometimes it is better to just say no.
I didn't take on anything I didn't think I could handle.
Well, yeah, but what you think you can handle and what works out being able to be manageable aren't always the same thing. So I think I like setting in fail-safe.
I went into it with like the idea that I want to ideally read 31 books, but like I'll be happy with 15. But if I set my goal for 15, I'll only like get to 7.
See, I do that too. I'll set a goal during Mano for 5,000 words a day, 5 days a week. And usually I write 1,000 words. So if I hit 3,000 words, I'm like, yay!
I overset so that because I know I'm not going to reach my goal. So I make it harder for myself. So I work harder to get to the goal, and I'll get to where I really want to be.
Yeah, that I get, as long as you can do it with that mindset. But then there's those the people that set goals and then they don't hit the goals and then they get frustrated and then it just makes the universe suck on multiple levels for a little while, and that's just really not healthy in the long term. And I used to be one of those ones that would sign up for multiple things and be like, I can do all of this. I worked 80 hours a week for 2 years and then almost had a mental breakdown. And it was like, oh, you mean the human body can't do this? Yeah. Healthy boundaries.
Yeah. You learn things as you get older.
You do. You learn that you don't want to work 80 hours a week.
Right.
Cat Leo, I have a baby blanket I've been working on for like 3 years. I should finish it before we move next year. Also, all of the babies that would have given the blanket to are now babies now. Yeah, I started a baby blanket when my brother told me that he was going to be a dad.
How old is your niece or nephew now?
That nephew is 4. Thankfully, he then had another oops. And Rowan will be 2 in a little while. So I gave it to Rowan when I finished. I was like, this one's still a baby-ish. Close enough, whatever.
I've done several baby blankets, probably 9 or 10. And I've done, I've made like stuffed unicorns, stuffed elephants. I haven't done anything for probably since I started YouTube. I probably haven't really done anything.
Yeah, YouTube has a way of sucking up your time, but I really like knitting or crocheting or sewing as sort of like a creative therapeutic outlet, because especially once you get good at it, because once you get good at it, I can knit a scarf without looking at it, your fingers know the motion. So then it's almost meditative And it again, it's sort of like rewatching shows. It's like giving yourself permission to relax because you're doing something. You're being productive. You're knitting. It's like, well, yeah, my hands are moving. The rest of me could be doing something else.
I use a pattern for baby blankets. It's kind of just like a giant granny square, and it usually takes me from like 10 to 12 hours to do a baby blanket. So like I know how much like physical actual time I need because I've done so many of them. I did 2 in one weekend, like the weekend before my cousin's baby shower. She was having twins. So
So
2.
I was like, well, we need 2.
I'm gonna need 2
2.
baby blankets.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm not that fast, so a baby blanket takes me like, I don't know, I'm probably making them too big anyways because they don't really need to be that big if they're for babies. But if I'm doing like a 3-foot by 3-foot square, it takes me almost 30 hours.
The
I'm
yarn that I use is like a baby blanket. It's really thick, so it only takes like, I don't know, like 25 rounds to like do the whole thing. So much easier.
Yeah, no, I'm doing like 50, 60 across.
You gotta find like bigger yarn projects, so they're like you get like the softer yarn and you have less stitches.
Giant gauge needles.
Giant needles, because I have arthritis really bad in my hands, so it's great. I love it.
Yeah, one of these days I want to do the arm knitting.
I can't find yarn for that. I've tried looking for it. Like you can buy it online, but it's real expensive. You'd probably have like $400 in a blanket.
Yeah, it's like that. I would just buy a blanket for that.
Right.
Sid needs your back massager.
I need it too.
Then use it. It's Self-Care Sunday. Plug it in. Liselle, need more terrace house. I was supposed to go photograph aspen trees turning gold today, but woke up with a migraine. So need to have a dim light day. Oh, I'm so grateful that I don't suffer from migraines, but I know people who do it. I know how like just debilitating they can be. So you take what steps you need to. Jessica Williamson, I need info for the neck thing, please. Do you have the name for that? A couple of people have asked about that.
I don't know. I told JC that I would Facebook it to her because we're pretty used to that, her and I. Let's see.
Ooh, LR Archer. I'm using a superwash soft merino wool that has 25% nylon, so it's nice and soft and stretchy. It's sock yarn, but I love it for gloves. Oh, okay. Those of you who knit in the comments, I'm assuming you know already, but Cachet actually does these really fun sort of chit chat and crochet streams, or some people are knitting on there, but those are always a lot of fun. Just if you're going to be blocking off the time to knit anyways, it's really nice to just sort of, it's like having a conversation with 20 of your closest friends via the internet,
Hang out with your friends.
Yeah, hang out, chit chat, talk about stuff, knit some things, crochet some things. Chopped. I tried watching Chopped and I could not for the life of me get into it because I want the recipes. I want to know the process. And for me, Chopped was more the gimmick. So I thought it was entertaining, but it's like, that's if I want to laugh. If I want to chill, it's British Bake Off, Because half the time on Chopped, they're like, I'm going to make a recipe. Oh, no, I can only cook in a soup can. Like, this isn't... It's hilarious to watch, but like you're not gaining anything from it. You're just watching people try not to fail. I'll rewatch favorite episodes of Supernatural, reread a story, or make candles and lotions. I've never tried making candles, but I have made my own, not lotion, salve, I guess. I have psoriasis, so I'll make stuff with birch sap and some other stuff, and that helps a lot. Somehow y'all reminded me I needed to get a wrist brace. Get your wrist brace. Yeah. Do that. Protect your joints. Protect the joints. Oh! Beatrix Bun Hops, I adopted 2 disabled rabbits.
Hence the bun hops.
Bun Hops! I want to see bunny pics.
Um, I'm pretty sure that if you follow them on Instagram, you'll get
I'll get bunny pictures.
funny pictures. Yeah.
Bunnies. I had a bunny. It was demonic. It was a 5-pound chocolate straight-eared rabbit. It attacked my 50-pound fully grown golden retriever and won.
All right.
Yeah, Sandy was like, "Hi, little friend," and sniffed him. And Coco whipped around and latched onto Sandy's neck. Sandy needed stitches. And Coco did not get to wander around after that. Because don't attack the dog, please. The Samhain elm is a normal tree with toxic sap that the Fey species thought they'd destroy, but a single tree was saved through grafting and cloning. You have to do this one for Nano, Mama Ward, because now I really want to read it. My big dogs don't get into the trash, but the Chihuahua rescue ones are always in the trash.
I don't do chihuahuas. I'm terrified of them.
I'm skeptical because I have been bitten by chihuahuas before, but my aunt also has chihuahuas and they're really chill, so I know they could go either way, like with most dogs. But it's one of those breeds where their teeth are very pointy.
My grandparents had chihuahuas when I was little, and it would literally run across the house to attack you and pin you down, and you were not allowed to defend yourself because it was Grandpa's dog. And so I do not like chihuahuas.
I think that's reasonable. I think you get bit by something enough, and it's like, well, I don't like you very much.
Not my thing.
Yeah. My 2 cats are 16 years old in February. We have a Broholmer. We have to walk around the house to let her out because we have stairs at the back door, and she's 11. What's a Broholmer? I'm assuming it's a type of dog?
I would think so.
Yeah. Aww. 11. Oh, the 2-year-old is up. Bye, MB Webster. Have fun with the toddler. Yeah, my nephews too. So my sister-in-law, I will chat, and then she'll go back into the house and be like, how in the 30 seconds she wasn't watching, he's unscrewed the top to his bottle and dumped the milk into her foot massage thing, and now everything smells like milk, and he's just upset because there's nothing in the bottle, even though he's sucking on the cap and the bottle's on the ground. In Colorado, there is a pet rent on top of people rent and can $500 a month. Oh, no. I used to do dairy, goat, and horse rescue, but since my stroke, I can't do physical labor for that many. Yeah, equestrians of any like shape or size are quite a bit of labor. I can make stupid writing goals and meet them, but editing goals I'd rather pull my own teeth. It's hard because I just want to add and not cut. I struggle with editing goals of any type because I'm not very good at editing. I don't know what I'm doing when I get into it, so I just chunk it into like chapters. Like I'll edit each chapter at a time, and then I'll be like, okay, now I'm going to reread chapters 1 through 4, and then reread chapters 5 through 8, or whatever else. Oh yeah, I crocheted the blanket. Oh, okay, so you're a crocheter.
I crochet. I don't understand how knitting works. I haven't figured it out yet.
I'm the opposite. I feel like most people are one or the other. Some people can do both, but most of the people I know are one or the other.
I used to only be able to do like a really long chain of crochet because I could never figure out how to turn and go back the other way.
Yeah, that was where I fell apart.
One of my friends had to learn how to crochet to teach me how to crochet. It was great.
Oh, that's a friend. That's a friend right there.
For sure.
My fingers forgot how to knit and crochet after my stroke. I also lost my memorized music. I mean, I forgot. The only thing I remember how to play on the piano is the first 10 seconds of the Titanic song. But
I can do that.
I feel like everybody learned that.
I play clarinet and tenor sax and bass clarinet and most percussion instruments, and I can still play a lot of stuff that we played in high school from memory. So, but I mean, it's been.
See, I'm euphonium or baritone horn, so it's like my armature is gone. I know that if I picked up a brass instrument today and I tried to play for more than like 5 minutes, I'd blow a lip.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. But I feel like I could get it back quicker with a brass instrument than I could with piano, just because of the hand coordination. I'm much better at coordinating my lungs with my hand than I am with coordinating this hand with this hand. I'm
I've
like,
never
why
learned.
won't you get along?
Yeah. That's the name.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
That's the whole
Okay.
name from Amazon. Copy paste, people.
Copy paste. It's in the chat. Copy paste. Okay, that's it's like almost like a wish name, you know?
It kind of is.
Yeah, like all of the keywords. All of the keywords. Oh, Beatrix also has psoriasis. Yeah, it's funny because my father and I both have psoriasis, but we have different varieties. So what works for one of us does not work for the other. And also, I almost joined a research team that was also looking at the epigenetic shifts in psoriatic cells, which would have been kind of cool. I mean, I have psoriasis. I don't care that much about it, though. It's like, I'm going to cure something. I'd rather it be tuberculosis, you know? But psoriasis is definitely annoying. Bunny Mafia, I will say that my psoriasis is not very bad. So like I know people who have it a lot worse. So I have the privilege of being like, it's just annoying. Oh, I miss having rabbits. I do not miss my rabbit. My rabbit was a demon. Chihuahuas take a lot of work. They're still more likely to bite than a Rottie or yeah. I think it's just because they're small. They have to go first, you know, they gotta, but it's, oh, Cheryl had to run. With most dog breeds, I will say that it is mostly about the training and how the animal's been treated. I don't like breed stereotypes necessarily because I have met stupid golden retrievers. They do exist. And I have met very intelligent Labradors and Dalmatians, which I was surprised of because I've met Dalmatians before and they're dumb as dirt. And then I met one that was smart and I was like, oh, stereotyping is bad. Rohomars look like golden lambs, but are large. 90 to 130 pounds. Old large dogs and stares do not mix. I can understand that. That's also a really large dog.
We have Australian Shepherds, and the females are typically in animals are smaller, or in dogs are smaller than the males. And like the male average is like 50 to 60 pounds. Mine weighs 95. He kept growing and growing and growing and he's a great cuddler at night because when he lays in the bed, he's as long as I am.
It's like having a body pillow, but it's warm.
Right. He's a good snuggle buddy.
Oh. I was always afraid my dog liked to snuggle. He would like lean up against me with his back against me so he would know if I moved.
Yeah.
Because of the deafness. But the thing was, I was always terrified I was going to roll over on him. So then I'd scooch over and then he'd scooch over and then I'd scooch over and then he'd scooch over. And by the morning, I'm sleeping on the like 4 inches left of the bed. And this tiny dog has taken up the entire mattress of a queen size bed. And I'm like, how? But they do it. I learned all the needle crafts by the time I was 8, both left and right handed because my granny and great auntie expected it. They were big on the old world skills. I think sewing and knitting and crocheting are cool things to learn. Sewing especially I feel like is useful, like knowing how to reattach a button is something that most people should know how to do.
I don't understand how you don't know how to reattach a button.
I've had people that don't know how to thread a sewing needle.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, you put the thread through and you tie it. Well, someone threaded it and then tied it on one end to the eye. And then just had a string. And they were like, right, this makes sense. And I'm like, well, yeah, except now every time you drag it through, you're dragging a knot through. And unsurprisingly, after 3 stitches, it untied itself. And I'm like, this is why you don't do that.
I mean, fair enough. I guess
yeah, but there is YouTube. So I feel like learn how to sew them.
Things you learn when you're a child, you just assume is like common knowledge. But
yeah,
I used YouTube to learn how to change headlights and taillights in my car on my own. Because It's
You
just
had to do it.
somebody had to do it. I wasn't paying somebody else to do it. So I had to take apart the front of my car to change my headlights, but I did it.
Yeah, I've used it for similar things. It's especially if sometimes you just need a visual explanation. Actually, on my channel, there's a playlist that I keep for my masters of animations of things like functional assays and flow cytometry, which are advanced tests that you perform in a lab. And I've got like 3D animated versions of them just because I find it easier to understand that way. So it's like I'm getting a master's degree and I'm supplementing my textbooks and lectures with a 3-minute YouTube video. I've got like 30 of them in a playlist.
Whatever works, man.
Whatever works. It goes back to the planner. It's finding things that work for you. My cousin's Goldie was the dumbest dog on the planet. He used to bring home, live skunks. No. Oh, in through the dog door, skunks in the kitchen is a very bad thing. Yeah, no, can't do
Why
that.
they make dog doors now where you have to like have a thing on your collar to activate the door to let you in.
Yeah, but if the dog's carrying it in,
I mean,
then
fair enough.
yeah. I paid for a cheap car sewing for others in high school. Oh, I paid for a cheap car by sewing for others in high school. I thought my brain went to someone sewed like a picture of a car. I don't know why my brain went there. My brain's tired. Again, time differences. It's 7 p.m. here.
I had to read it twice to get it, so fair enough.
Okay, so it's not just me. But yes, we're actually getting close to the top of the hour here, but I think we covered a lot of cool stuff. We sort of went over like planners and setting up your week and like taking steps to take care of yourself, whether that's using stickers in your planner or eating cinnamon buns and crocheting or having a garden of hopefully live plants. Like finding something that works for you, I think, to say it for the millionth time, is kind of the biggest thing. And you don't know what works for you until you try a couple of different things. And the other thing I will say is, it's very easy to try something, get frustrated with it the first time, and then just be like, this isn't for me. I feel like there's a level of self-honesty there. You have to try something to an extent where yes, this is for you, yet, or you were just frustrated before, or it's
you can also pull things in, like if you've tried 4 or 5 different things and haven't found the perfect thing, but there is like something of everything that worked for you, you can make your own thing. You're allowed to make your own things.
Yeah, you are most definitely allowed to make your own things and create systems that work for you, whether that's in your planner. I think the Bujo is the best example of that. Like everyone's got their own way of doing them,
And I think that's why I originally switched from a Bujo to a Happy Planner, because I liked the freedom of like doing whatever kind of spreads I wanted to do, as far as like other things I had going on. But like I drew my monthly and my weeklies exactly the same every month. Like I had a system that worked for me and I drew the same thing every month. And it got really tedious to do that. So I was like, why not just buy a planner that already has the month and the weekly the way I like it, and then add in my own stuff. And that's kind of how I ended up at Happy Planner.
It's funny is, so I tried the Bujo thing and I basically made the same layout for myself every single time. I would get frustrated with planners that had dates on them because I kept throwing them out. So I was going to go to Office Depot to print out inserts. And then I was like, I'm an author. I know how to publish things. So I used Kindle to print out my planner because it was $4 and it was going to be $16 to print it at Office Depot. So I actually made my own planner, like just so I wouldn't have to print it, but it's like, it's just the same thing every time, but it works for me because that I can like reposition it and there's no dates. So if I don't use it for a month, which happens, then it's no big deal. But I did the same thing you're talking about. I cobbled together different systems that worked for me.
And that's kind of Sarah Cannon, Heartbreathing's channel. Like that's
Yeah.
what she did. How she came up with the HB90 planner is she had used so many different planner systems and nothing fit perfectly. So she created her own system, and that system works great for some people, doesn't work great for others. But like there are things of her system that I love, that but not everything. So like I'll just make a Bujo spread of something from her planner that I like and stick it into mine. It's great.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. It's just about finding what works with your brain, and I think that goes back to sort of the like neuronormative thing. You know, they do this talk in schools a lot where they're like, well, this is how you're supposed to think. If you think differently, then you're special education or whatever. And it's like, no, everyone's brain works slightly different. If we just change the conversation from is your brain normal or not normal to how does your brain work, I feel like we'd all be a lot better off as far as learning new things, as far as finding systems that work for us, as far as finding self-care systems that work for us. Some people are going to want to have pets. Other people, this is plenty.
There's no such thing as normal.
Yeah. It's all just a bell curve of miasma. But we are at the top of the hour, so I think we will say hasta la pasta to the lovely peoples, and just remember to take care of yourself. Remember not to stress out about things, and to try and take time to make sure that you're taking care of you and doing so in a way that works for you. Trying to take care of yourself by following a specific routine, if that routine is not serving you, is just working against your natural inclinations. So do you want to say goodbye to the lovely humans?
Goodbye, humans. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for having me.
Do you have anything coming up soon, or any new videos planned? You have your 36-hour readathon, or write-a-thon.
36-hour write-a-thon. I always say readathon too. It's like because there's more readathons than write-a-thons in the world. Next weekend at midnight Eastern Standard Time, so that's probably like afternoon time for you. 36-hour write-a-thon will start, and at some point today I will be getting up schedules and things on Instagram and an announcement video maybe on my channel and a bunch of things.
Okay. If you have links for that too after this is done, once you're done with everything, you can throw this in the comments. That way, if anyone catches this on the replay, they can check out the links to the videos and all that shenanigans.
Absolutely.
But thank you all for having us. And Preptober's kind of crazy. The world's kind of crazy. Everything's kind of crazy. So please just remember to take care of yourselves. Okay? It sounds so simple, and yet we make it so hard. So just take care of yourselves, and we'll see you soon.